What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to our week 3 account progression update. So for April, every week I've been trying to do a recap and just to show you guys what kind of progress I've made and things that have happened throughout each week. So a lot of you guys seem to enjoy like the small updates, and yeah, so I made a little bit of a recap image of the videos we've done, and I'll show you it in a second. So yeah, over the past week, these are the videos I uploaded. Some of them were pretty interesting, actually, so I would recommend checking those out. Let's start with the bottom right. So as you guys know, early graduation started, I think, last week, and for all of you who are new and or have never played a season before, you can early graduate your seasonal and then start going into the open world with everyone else. And that's basically where the game begins. You figure out what you want to do, what you enjoy doing. And basically that video covers what you should do and how to go about just like what everything you can experience in the MMO is. It's like overall a sandbox. And basically I covered a lot of life skills and grind spots, more or less, so you guys can figure out something you enjoy doing and how to go about graduating and figuring out goals. Next, we have tips to start sailing and bartering. Now, I think this one is a unique one because I don't think a lot of people actually go about doing it, because I know when people think of an MMO, sailing is not really it, but that's one of the life skills in this game, the sailing and bartering, and I think it's actually pretty unique because it's like a whole new aspect of the game. As you guys know, the golden standard of MMOs is getting a certain level, getting the best gear, going out PvPing, doing the highest dungeons, raids, whatever kind of things. That's like the standard. But in this game, I wanted to try to cover a lot of different life skills throughout time. And sailing and bartering, it's kind of special in the way of it actually takes a lot of time to get your boat upgraded, do dailies and everything, similar to the way you would get gear. So the way sailing works is you do dailies, like, you know, very standard, and then over time you get materials to upgrade your boat. Then you have to get the boat gear and then upgrade it from there. And it actually is very time consuming, so I think it's interesting to watch. And we talk about how you go about getting your boat and the different types of carracks. So that's like the end game boat right now, and what it's like basically at the end of sailing for now. And I think they'll probably have more updates and stuff in the future for that. But overall, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to check out. So if you've ever thought about trying out a new life skill, sailing and bartering in this game, expect to spend a lot of time in the ocean. And we covered a lot of information on extra tips that I can give you guys to make your experience easier and things you should start now with, because some of them, like, you can do it, but if you have extra like workers and nodes going on at the same time, it'll make your experience a lot easier. So that's another video. Next we have the season to end game tips. And basically in that video we covered what it's like going from seasonal gear, and this is actually one of the characters that I like time pieced over, and then we have the weapon boxes that we still have. But seasonal gear all the way till end game. It's a pretty detailed video. It's like 34 minutes, and basically I tell you how you should go about progressing in the most, well, not really the most efficient way, but like in the right order, so you're not just lighting silver on fire in this game. And this is just tips from me as a veteran player. So if you are ever hard stuck and you just don't know what to do, feel free to ask. Join the Discord. A lot of people actually ask for gear help there, and I'm happy to help people no matter how many times I get asked the same question. Just like send a screenshot of your gear in my Discord and just be like, hey, I need help, and then I'll help you with that. Or you can just watch that video, and that should probably answer a lot of your questions as well. Next, we have the April 14th Global Lab notes. So if you don't know, Global Labs is the equivalent of their like beta test server, or like PTS, PTR if you play other games. So like the test realm. And I know a lot of people don't actually keep up with Global Lab notes. Basically, it's like patch notes, right? But those notes are coming to the live servers, at least on NA and EU, in 2 weeks from now, like 2 to 3 weeks, sometime around there. So if you're the kind of person that just reads the patch notes for live servers, like the day it happens, that's cool. A lot of games I actually just do that as well. But if you're interested in seeing what's happening in the future, like 2 weeks down the line, I think that's a pretty interesting video to watch. And, you know, sometimes when they have global lab notes, they tell you like what's coming out and items you should start preparing to get. Like, you know, when a new region comes out, you should get these items, kind of thing. So you have a 2-week head start before everyone else who doesn't read it. And I think that's really interesting to watch. So, yeah, I know that video might not be for everyone, but if you are taking the game a little bit seriously and you want to have that 2-week head start of like the notes that are coming to the live servers soon, you might want to start preparing some of those items now instead of later. Just throwing that out there. The next thing we have is the Histria Ruins grind. So that one, we tested the green offhand, and as you guys know, there's a lot of different offhands in this game. The one that's like 3 billion silver and the one that's like 135 billion silver. I actually had my personal best with the green offhand, which is kind of shocking, actually. I know History is not like the most intense spot, but it is a pretty respectable spot, especially for people like going out of seasons, like roughly a 260, 270 AP area. You could do it at 240, even 250, but it's like more efficient at 260. But either way, another video I have planned in the future is all the offhands. And so what we used is this one. So if you compare these two items, right? Like the green one versus the Black Star, the difference is like 130 billion silver, but efficiency is a little bit different. So in that video, I know it's an hour long, but we just did a grind at Histria, and it was just like a chill video. Think of it like a podcast or something where I just talk to you guys while grinding in circles. So that one's one of those just listen to, and I think you might learn something. We can just have a chill time, and yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. After that, we have 7 helpful tips and learning habits I made in BDO. So as you guys know, BDO is a sandbox MMO, not your traditional endgame raid guild kind of MMO. But things that I thought were helpful to people who are new and or returning, these are some tips and habits that I do on a daily in this game. And overall, I think it's a pretty interesting listen to. And maybe some things you can pick up over time and be like, hey, I do that too. Or, hey, I never knew that. So just different habits that I've made playing BDO compared to like other games. I think it's pretty interesting to check out. And our final video that we made throughout last week is 5 things I wish I knew about BDO when I started. I think it's like a pretty interesting one to listen to because, as you guys know, BDO is a very complex game. It's not really super intuitive either. I mean, they're making it easier over time, but as you guys know, a lot of this stuff you kind of have to figure out. And back when I first started, there weren't any guides. I played like since the beta day 1, and so when I started, there was no one to help me. It was just you figure it out or you don't do it. So 7 years later, these are things that I wish I knew starting the game, and I think those are still relevant. There's a lot of things that I wish I knew about BDO with starting. I could make like probably a multiple hour video on that, but maybe we'll make another one, 5 things I wish I knew, part 2. But I think that was pretty interesting. I picked out some relevant topics to talk about in that one, and yeah, it was pretty unique. So I would recommend checking out all of those videos. And if something caught your attention, check the channel and you could watch that video. So those are the thumbnails if you were watching it. And now on to what did we do in game throughout the week. As you guys know, I am preparing for the new region, and slowly but surely I have been grinding Elvia Hex, and our goal is to get 300 crystallized despairs. Like, yeah, I could just buy it off the market, it's no big deal. But if I have time and I could just grind it out myself instead of spending 18 billion, that's pretty good. I'm gonna do that. So anyway, the two places I've been grinding are obviously Histria, and we're trying to get the Elton piece. We've been working on that since like September of 2022. And so here we are, 7 months later, still no Elton piece. I think I have over 300 to 400 hours in that spot and still don't have it. Feels bad, but I'd like to think our RNG will balance out one day and we'll get it. So yeah, that's those are the two places I've been grinding. When I do grind videos, they're pretty chill, so just check it out, listen to it, or think of it as like a podcast. Just listen to it while you're playing the game or something, and we just talk about random stuff. So what else have I been doing? I have 33.3 billion silver. That's like really not much of an increase from last week. However, a lot of my earnings have been going into items. It's not really just liquid silver, right? So like warehouse silver number is still going up, but we have more costumes than we did last week. And eventually the goal, when the new region hits, we're going to be grinding out the pieces for the new like Fallen God, or I think it's called Dan's glove or something, DAHN gloves. And so effectively it's equivalent to like the Labresca and Fallen God armor, but for your gloves. And we all know that's the super high-end item, and it's going to take a lot of crons to get it to Tet. I already know that, so I've been preparing at least in advance. And so I think we have roughly in total probably around 35,000 cron stones. On average, that is not enough to get Tet. I'd have to be pretty lucky. And so overall, we're just saving up cron stones. We've been ordering costumes off the market whenever we can. Yeah, so I know this is NA and we can get costumes more or less easily, but realistically, I get maybe like 1 to 3 costumes a week. It's not like I just can buy them off the market, because if I could, this 33 billion silver would be like 0. So I try to have an order up on costumes and hope I get it, but for all of you who are on other servers, and yes, we can get costumes, but it's not as many as you'd think we can get. It's like maybe 1 or 2 a week, which is, you know, still more than 0, but it's not like, oh, I just bought like 30 costumes, no big deal. So yeah, that's what I've been working on for quite a while. At Histria, we are still at 9 compass pieces, and none of them are Eltons. They're all Vodkins. Feels bad. And I think one thing I'm going to do in the near future is we're going to grind a little bit more Ash Forest, because what I want to do is get a Deboreka necklace. I'm going to see if I could just buy it at Tet and then just slam it like with cron stones, and then maybe we'll just get it to pen first, try it. If you watch my other Deboreka enhancing, it did not go well. It was actually really unlucky, to the point where I feel like I should just buy it at Tet, hope I get it, and then slam it to pen with crons if I can. Yeah, I'm at that stage in the game where that is like actually a serious consideration. And I know there are people out there who are just like, oh, I want to get a pen Blackstar, or I want to get a pen Deboreka accessory. And then you ask them like, oh, okay, so what's your gear? And then they're like in Tet and pen boss gear with like Capris less than 10. And then I'm like, bro, Deberekas are like items you get when you have very few other things to get, because that is a huge money sink. And I actually have a video on, you know, how to progress with gear. I guess that's one of the things we talked about in this week's video. But like, when you watch a lot of streamers and they're like clicking all these big ticket items, right? That's because those are the items that they need. So here's an example. If you need to get like a 5 AP upgrade and like you have a Tet Ogre ring, right? That's 30 AP. And you're thinking, oh, I want to get a pen one because it's 35. Ask yourself if you can get 5 AP cheaper than the cost it would be to buy a pen ogre or any other upgrade realistically. So when you're thinking about going for like a pen black star, ask yourself, can you get the stats cheaper anywhere else, whether it's accessories or something, before you just go out and either save or click your thing yourself. And that's really the biggest tip I can give people, is to be very smart with your money and silver in this game and do things efficiently. Get the most stats for the least amount of silver. And then at the end, that's when you should be going for your big ticket items that cost like hundreds of billions, like what I'm doing. So when I say I'm going for these things, it's because that is the cheapest option for my next upgrade. And that's literally hundreds of billions, which doesn't feel good, but it's a very time consuming game. And yeah, overall, yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing this month. Slow grind, buying costumes, clicking random things, enhancing, and yeah, just grinding. So with that said, I think throughout next week we might have a few more grind spot videos, a few more guides in the works I'm doing right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you are new to your channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you come back. I make videos for people who are new to the game, returning to the game, and are trying to get better. So that said, if any of those things that I talked about today interest you, check some more stuff out on the channel, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.